She had cured things that should not be cured. When the Northern War bled men dry on the stone roads, her vials closed torn arteries in seconds. When miners lost hands to cave-ins, her tonics coaxed bone and sinew back into place like obedient threads. Once, only once, she had brewed a draught that let a grieving mother hear her dead son whisper goodbye through the veil of the spirit world. People said there was no sickness she could not treat. She believed them. That was her first mistake. The patient arrived just before dusk, wrapped in a wool cloak too heavy for the season. A young woman, breathing shallowly, cheeks flushed the soft red of fever. She apologized for taking up space in the lab, for coughing on the glassware, for being dramatic. "It's only a cold," she said. The chemist examined her carefully. Pulse elevated. Skin warm, but not alarming. Lungs clear. No rot in the blood. No spiritual residue clinging to the soul. A simple thing. Rest, she prescribed, grinding herbs with practiced ease. Cold compress. Sleep. The woman asked if she could stay the night. The roads were dark. The chemist agreed. By morning, the freckles appeared. Tiny black specks dusted the patient's cheeks, as if ash had settled there while she slept. The chemist frowned, rubbing one gently with her thumb. It did not smear. It did not flake. It was part of the skin. She consulted her books. Nothing. By the second day, the freckles spread down the neck. The patient complained of heat, not fever, but burning, as if her blood simmered beneath her skin. When the chemist touched her, she pulled her hand back instinctively. The warmth was wrong, dense, pressurized. She brewed cooling draughts. They failed. On the third day, the patient's hairline hardened. Where soft curls once rested, the skin had begun to thicken, darkening into calloused patches. Small black nubs pushed through, like horns in miniature, blunt and unfinished. The patient cried when she felt them, hands shaking as she traced the changes in the mirror. "I don't want to become something else," she whispered. The chemist did not answer. She was already pulling books from shelves, stacks growing unstable around her feet. Holy texts, anatomical ledgers, spirit-binding manuals sealed in silver clasps. Nothing matched. That night, she felt it, the failure, settle into her chest like a weight. She had built her life on answers, on remedies, on control. To not know was unbearable. She fled down the hall toward her private study. Halfway there, she stopped. A door stood where there had never been one. It was narrow, its surface dark and smooth, as if grown rather than built. No handle, no hinges. It pulsed faintly, like something alive beneath wood. Her breath caught. She had walked this corridor every day for years. She knew the cracks in the stone, the slight tilt near the third lantern. The door had not been there. A whisper brushed her thoughts, not heard, but felt. "You are close." Her heart pounded. This was impossible. No holy sigil marked the frame. No ward flared in warning. Her protections did not react at all. Because it was not an intruder. It was an invitation. You want to cure her, don't you? Her hand trembled as it lifted. She told herself she would only look, only learn. Knowledge was not corruption. Intent mattered. Had she not proven that, time and again? The door opened at her touch. Darkness spilled out, thick and warm, carrying the scent of iron and old ash. As she stepped forward, a sudden itch bloomed on her cheek. She raised her hand. Her fingers brushed skin that felt subtly raised. When she pulled them away, they came back, dusted in black. The darkness beyond the door was not empty. Shelves rose from the black like ribs, stacked with volumes bound in cracked leather and scorched metal. Symbols crawled across their spines, sigils she recognized only from censored footnotes and marginal warnings. The air was thick, heavy with heat and something older than rot. At the center of the room lay a single text, opened as if waiting. Her breath came shallow as she approached. The words shifted beneath her gaze, rearranging themselves until they settled into a language she understood. Demonic possession. Early stage, incubation. Symptom 1, false illness. Her stomach dropped. She read faster. Fever without infection. Heat without cause. Black markings, anchors burned into the flesh to hold a foreign will. The callousing skin. The forming horns. A prison, the text explained. Not of stone or iron, but of flesh. A demon bound into a living body, sealed until the vessel matured enough to hold its true form. Her hands shook as she tore holy papers from the shelves nearby. Wards, bindings, exorcisms she had sworn never to touch. She clutched them to her chest and ran. The lab door burst open. Heat slammed into her like a wall. The patient stood in the center of the room, no longer shaking, no longer weak. Her spine arched as something tore free beneath her skin. Horns split through the calloused flesh of her scalp with a wet crack, curling upward, black and ridged. Her eyes ignited, embers drowning the white, casting red light across shattered glass. Wings unfolded with the sound of tearing cloth and snapping bone, stretching wide enough to scrape the ceiling beams. The air walked around her, shimmering, as if the room itself recoiled. The chemist staggered back, sweat pouring down her temples. The woman, the demon, laughed. It was not cruel, it was relieved. Finally, she said, voice layered, echoing over itself. Out of Vornakai's prison. She rolled her shoulders, wings flexing, heat pulsing from her body in waves. Every breath scorched the chemist's lungs. Then the demon's gaze snapped to her. A smile curved her mouth, sharp, knowing. Well, hurry up. The chemist froze. The demon tilted her head, eyes flicking upward. It's your turn next. A pressure bloomed between the chemist's brows, dull at first, then sharp. She gasped, dropping the holy papers as pain split her vision. Something pushed. Something forced its way forward. She raised trembling fingers to her forehead. Her skin was warm, raised, hard. 2 points pressed back against her touch. Horns. The lab trembled, glass shattered. Somewhere deep in the darkness behind the open door, something laughed with them. And the chemist finally understood. There was never a cure, only succession.